strengths and challenges, as well as discussions on the way forward. The law is dynamic and admits changes in light of new experience, and the legal year celebration becomes very important in this great and ancient profession. We are looking forward to hearing very insightful speeches this morning. The legal year is also a moment of creating the necessary public awareness of the unique function and great dignity and significance of the legal profession and the judiciary in society. The legal year celebration dates back to 1982, which was initiated and masterminded by the then Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Honorable Fafa Idris Sambai, and we are grateful for this initiative. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the legal profession in celebrating the legal year is following a great Commonwealth tradition across various jurisdictions. We in the Gambia are proud of our traditions and committed and respect for human rights and the freedom and dignity of the individual in an atmosphere of peace and stability. This is the source of the ideals which governs our relations towards one another, towards our family in our society, and the world around us. The judiciary, under the leadership of the Honorable Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow, has put in place a judiciary strategic plan 2021-2025, which provides the roadmap and a framework for enhancing the capacity of the judiciary to deliver quality justice and enable the institution to discharge its role as a key player in securing good governance of the Gambia. The Judiciary Strategic Plan captures the vision of an independent, effective, and efficient justice system for upholding the rule of law, whose mission is to ensure fair, impartial, and timely delivery of quality justice by competent, motivated, and committed staff. The values of commitment, fairness, impartiality, integrity, independence, transparency, excellence, accountability, and accessibility will continue to guide the judiciary of the Gambia in delivering its mission. The Judiciary Strategic Plan has 8 outcome-oriented goals which have been identified as follows. 1. Strengthen the independence of the judiciary and its autonomy. 2. Upgrade and expand physical infrastructure and improve the work environment. 3. Restructure and strengthen organizational and institutional capacity. 4. Improve efficiency of court processes and service delivery. 5. Develop the human resources capacity required for a modern judiciary. 6. harness ICT to support court functions. 7. Improve access to the courts and tribunals. 8. Improve communication and stakeholder confidence. The plan further elaborates these 8 goals with clearly articulated strategic objectives, which spell out the expected outcome, the key activities, the risks, line of responsibility, the time frame for execution, the key performance indicators, and, where possible, the budgetary support required for implementation in order to make the judiciary of the Gambia a center of excellence. The maintenance of law and order through the proper administration of justice based on fair and equitable laws and regulations is one of the fundamental prerequisites for peace, stability, and progress in any country. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I please announce the arrival of the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I please announce the arrival of the Honorable Chief Justice of the Gambia, together with Honorable Justices of the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, and the High Court. Welcome, my Lord Honorable Chief Justice. The chairman of the Qadi's Appeal Panel, together with the Ulamas and the Qadis, have also arrived. Members of the private bar and the public bar have also arrived. You are welcome. Welcome, Honorable Solicitor General and Legal Secretary. His Excellency the Vice President has arrived, together with the Honorable Chief Justice. You are welcome, most welcome. I now hand over the mic to the Honorable Judicial Secretary, who is the master of this ceremony.
As traditional, I invite the Imam Ratib of Banjul or his representative to lead us into Muslim prayers. Imam Ratib or his representative, please. May I now call on the chairman of the Kaddish Appeal panel to lead us in Muslim prayers. Chairman, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم الصراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم فإن تولوا فقل حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت ورب العرش العظيم ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما اللهم اغفر لنا أجمعين وتوفنا المسلمين برحمة لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين بحرمة اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Thank you very much, the chairman of the Kaddish Appeal panel. I will now invite the representative of the Christian Council or his representative to lead us in Christian prayers.
Let us pray. Almighty God, the creator of the universe, the author and sustainer of life, to you we gather as a nation recognizing our duty to bring justice, peace, and common good for all. We've walked through the year and we've come to another place where we begin again, opening another legal year so that we can remind ourselves of our common duty to bring freedom and peace to all men. Father, we ask you, as the God who leads into all truth, as the Lord who is the way and the life, as the one who is the chief justice of every system across the world, as the one who is the just God, who knows and is and above all, that your wisdom will descend on your people, that Father, they would work in the fear of God, and Father, in the love of humanity. Mighty God, in this day we ask you that you would arise so that, Father, as the just judge, you would hasten their steps and, Father, guard their hearts. That, Father, Lord, nothing other than the fear and the wish for freedom and justice for people will be that which will guard their judgments. As we begin this year, we pray, Almighty God, that you will protect all those who come before the law. That, Father, those who give judgments and those who receive judgments would all, Father, be brought under your power to work for the common good and advancement of this nation. So today we ask, as we begin this day, that we do not begin on the merits of our powers or on our achievements, but Father, will rely on your guidance. For it is you who is true wisdom. It is you who is true power. So we submit ourselves to you this day as a nation, as a justice system, that in all our doings you would guard and guide our hearts. In all our judgments, you guide and guide our deliberation. In all our court systems, you will stand prevailing tall, that all men would see you as the God who guides and directs the systems and the decisions we take. Cover our minds from evil intentions. Cover our minds from materialistic gains. Cover our minds from envy and jealousy. Keep us together so that when we make judgments and when we pursue cases, we will do so, O God, knowing, O God, that you are watching and you will judge. That every one of us, Father, will fear you and work for you, so that Gambia will continue to remember that the God of nations watch over us. So we ask you to bless this day. Bless our Vice President. Bless all of those who are here as members of the authority of this nation. And Father, as we continue to work for you, may your blessings never depart from this nation. We ask for a special blessing this day. As we begin another year, begin with us. For you are Alpha, so that we would end in you. For you are Omega. Let you, who is the first and the last, be the one who guide and direct this program with your blessings upon it. We ask this in the name through whom we will be able to work and walk aright. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, the representative of the Christian Council of Banjul. Your Excellency, the Vice President Mohammed B.S. Jallow, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, my Lord, the Chief Justice Asante Jallow, Honorable Justices of the Superior Courts of the Gambia, Honorable Justice Muhammad Ayad, and invited guests from Morocco, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, members of the Judicial Service Commission, the Chairman of the Cadiz Appeal Panel and the Ulamas, the Honorable Cabinet Ministers here present, the President and members of the Gambia Bar Association, the Lady Mayoress of Banjul, regional governors, President and members of the district tribunals, the Honorable Master and Registrar of the High Court, the Deputy Judicial Secretary and Senior Administrative Staff of the Judiciary, the consular and diplomatic community here present, senior government officials here present, landed magistrates and caddies, staff of the Judiciary and Minister of Justice, venerable religious leaders, service chiefs, men and women of different security sectors, members of the press, all invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all other protocols respectfully and duly observed. Today, the 21st of January 2024, marks the official opening of the 2024 legal year by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Adam Barrow, who is away on official engagement and is ably represented by the Vice President Mohammed B. Esso. The legal year, which dates back to 1982, was initiated by Senior Landed Counsel Mr. Fafa Imbai. The legal year, which dates back to 1982, was initiated by Senior Landed Counsel Mr. Fafa Imbai, who was then the Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the Gambia. Mr. Fafa Imbai and his team at the time were the masterminds of the celebration of the legal year after the abortive coup of July 1981 led by Kugo Sabasanya. The first legal year in the Gambia was celebrated on Sunday, the 21st of November 1982 at Makati Square under Shaffield Bridges as the then Chief Justice of the Gambia. Since 1982 to date, the judiciary celebrates legal year, and today's occasion is the latest of such celebration. With this brief background of the legal year, I now have the honor and pleasure to call on the President of the Gambia Bar Association to deliver a statement. Madam President, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mohamed B.S. Jallow, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, the Honorable Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dauda A. Jallow, Cabinet Ministers, Justices of the Superior Courts, Chairman of the Qadi Appeals Panel, Your Worships, Venerable Qadis, Governors, District Chiefs, Service Chiefs, colleagues at the Bar, members of the Diplomatic Corps, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. This morning, as we gather to mark the opening of the legal year 2024, I am honored to address you in my capacity as the newly elected President of the Gambia Bar Association. Before I proceed, I wish to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to my colleagues who encouraged and voted me into this esteemed position. They are my source of strength and motivation, and I am sure I will continue to benefit from their invaluable wisdom and experience. Their dedication to the principles of justice, fairness, and integrity continues to be a guiding light for me, and I am committed to continuing the legacy of my predecessors. On this day, as we take stock, first, I wish to remember our dear departed colleague brothers, Senior Counsel Bola and Dr. Henry D.R. Carroll, and laud the decades of contributions they made to the advancement of the legal profession. We pray for them to continue to rest in peace. When I received the invitation to deliver this speech on this auspicious occasion, I thought about how and why. The Judicial Secretary has just touched on it, but I shall go ahead and proceed on this. We are pleased to remember the ceremony marking the opening of the legal year, as we are observing here this morning, was the idea and initiative of Mr. Fafa Idris Ambai, who was then Attorney General. Now, in his address to the inaugural ceremony at the McCarthy Square, Mr. Ambai said, and I quote from his book, In the Service of My Beliefs, "Some nations glorify the relics of their ancestors, some boast of their natural material wealth or military prowess. Some admire the natural beauty of their country or vaunt their industrial or artistic skills. But we in the Gambia are proud of our tradition of religious harmony and our commitment to parliamentary democracy, based on the rule of law, respect for human rights, and freedoms and dignity of the individual in an atmosphere of peace and stability. This is the source of the ideals which govern our relations towards one another, towards our families, in our society, and the world around us. It is a well-hallowed convention wedded to these great ideals that the opening of the legal year is being celebrated with such ceremony as we are all observing today. This is the practice in all Commonwealth countries, and in this year, and for the first time in the history of this country, the Gambia is following that great tradition. He continues, behind the pomp, pageantry, and circumstance of this ceremony, there is this underlying rationale and purpose. In the first place, this united public, non-denominational service is intended both as an act of thanksgiving to God, the Almighty, for past favors and mercies and achievements, as an act of dedication and resolution for the attainment of the true aims and goals of the law in society, and for the achievement of smooth judicial administration in the future. In this, all we have a part to play in achievement of peace and order and justice in society have a real and genuine interest, whether as members of the government, the legislature, the judiciary, the administration, the religious denominations, the legal profession, or press, or public at large. Secondly, the fact that the service is public and non-denominational is also intended to emphasize our unity as a people despite our differences. The ceremony is also intended to bring the nation together, not just confined to members of the legal profession, as was the practice in the past, but to emphasize that we all have a vested interest in promoting law, order, justice, and peace in our society. Through the speeches, social functions, and business opening sessions in court, the legal profession and its methods will be subject to close scrutiny, review of its rules, procedures, and methods of operation, and constructive suggestions made for improving the system and administration of justice in the country. The need for such periodic reappraisal of traditional court procedures and practices cannot be overemphasized. Close quote. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely acknowledge and pay tribute to Mr. Fafa Imbai for this enduring legacy. In other words, on this important occasion, we come together to take stock, as I said, of the achievements in the legal profession, as well as the state of our nation's democracy, the observance of the rule of law, and the protection of human rights and freedoms. It is also a moment to reflect on the challenges we face in the administration of justice. Generally, as we look at the achievements with increased number of courts established and judges and magistrates appointed not only in the Greater Banjul area, but in other regions of the country, this naturally translates to greater and closer access to justice and access to our courts. I understand the Supreme Court is soon to enjoy the complement of full bench, 100% Gambian judges. This is very welcome. However, more of both courts and manpower is needed to really oil the wheels of justice delivery and in all regions of the Gambia. It is a fact that the administration of justice, however, still faces some degree of the usual challenges in the form of the delays in court proceedings, limited resources providing access to justice to citizens, the occasional need for law reform, and lack of implementations in certain instances of provisions of the law. And here, for example, under the Legal Aid Act, the government, clients would need to prove that they earn below the minimum wage in order to be entitled to legal aid. Since 2008, however, the minimum wage still hasn't been set. And that means a great number of people are not able to have access to legal aid because their eligibility requirements cannot be determined. So I urge the government to look into this and set this minimum wage so that more people can benefit from legal aid in criminal cases, for example. It is our collective responsibility to address the challenges head-on, ensuring that justice is not just delayed or denied, but only available to those who can afford it, who can afford to pay for the services of a legal practitioner. Now, I want to take another angle. As an alternative dispute resolution practitioner, I welcome the latest amendment to the High Court rules, making it a requirement for litigants to have explored settlement before instituting actions in the High Court, with certain exceptions, of course, where there is urgency and the plaintiff needs to make urgent applications, for example. We must admit that as a nation, we are very litigious, but court really must be the last resort. When clients come to us as legal practitioners with their legal disputes, they want solutions. and will give legal advice and directions on the best way to resolve the dispute. So it is our own duty to explain to the clients the various options, including numerous benefits of ADR in the form of negotiation, mediation, or any other means of arriving at a settlement of the matter, so that the matter doesn't have to go to court or proceed to its conclusion in court. It is only when that fails that we advise the taking of the matter to court. This is what obtains nowadays in most jurisdictions, including the most developed countries. Chairperson, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the relationship between bench and bar is fundamental to the effective functioning of our legal system. At its best, it is one that is built on mutual respect, cooperation, and a shared commitment to the rule of law. Under my leadership as president of the Gambia Bar Association, we are dedicated to continue fostering harmonious relationship between the bar and the bench, working together for the betterment of our society. We look forward to the bench and bar dialogue slated for Tuesday, 23rd of January, 2024, at which honest, professional, and fruitful conversations will be had towards achieving a robust and a more effective justice delivery system. The bar, as an indispensable partner that will always advocate for the policies and actions that promote justice and the respect for human rights, will continue to engage constructively with government. Its relationship with the Office of the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice is very cordial. This relationship with the government is essential, particularly to the protection of the human rights and freedoms of our people as guaranteed by the Constitution. The government has the primary duty bearer and must therefore ensure that these are safeguarded at all times. The Bar Association has been involved in the transitional justice system. It has been playing a key role so far, collaborating, working with the Attorney General and his office to set the stage, so to speak, for the implementation of the recommendations of the TRRC. The Special Prosecutor's Office Bill and the Special Accountability Mechanism Bill had been drafted by the members of the Gambia Bar Association, purposely given to us by the Attorney General to get the bar more involved in the process, and this was very much appreciated. The bills were drafted, validated, and they are awaiting tabling it before the National Assembly. At the end of the November 2023, the bar organized a two-day workshop on post-TRRC accountability mechanisms and processes in the Gambia to look at the different models, challenges, and other considerations in the establishment of the hybrid court and the Special Prosecutor's Office. The Special Advisor on Transitional Justice has been appointed, I believe. The Attorney General will elaborate on that. Now, working together, we can tackle the challenges that confront our legal system, find innovative solutions to enhance the administration of justice, and ensure that every citizen has equal access to the protection of their rights under the law. As mentioned so far, much progress has been made in this dispensation in terms of rebuilding a democratic state that shows the respect for rule of law, human rights, and freedoms. However, we mustn't rest on our laurels. Gone should be the days when citizens are arrested, granted bail, not prosecuted, and yet charges continue to hang over them for long periods of time. There is definitely room for improvement, and this must be acknowledged. Our collective aim must always be to strive to put the Gambia among one of the most rule of law compliant countries in the world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Let's remember that justice knows no boundary, and our commitment to social justice extends to all, irrespective of gender, age, or background. It is our duty to protect the vulnerable, marginalized in our society, to ensure that they too have equal access to justice and full protection of their rights. The Legal Practitioners Amendment Bill, which is currently, I believe, going through the National Assembly, if passed, will greatly improve access to justice, as legal practitioners will be required to handle at least 1 or 2 cases or matters pro bono, that's a year, or make any contribution in any other form. When the time comes, the GBA will devise an appropriate system that will work to implement this provision if the bill is passed. We also intend to focus on continuing professional development, professional legal education for our members, and also to self-regulate. We will be amending our constitution to include provisions that will allow us to self-regulate and deal with our members, and we believe that that will be more effective, so that only serious complaints will go to the General Legal Counsel. We believe that we can resolve much of this among ourselves. We also intend to focus on, this will result in greater efficiency, accountability, and increase the confidence in the public, the confidence that the public has in us. Sorry, I'm wearing the wrong glasses today. As we stand on the threshold of a new legal year, I'm excited about the opportunities that lie ahead. The GBA is not just a collection of legal practitioners. It is a community bound by a shared commitment to the law and pursuit of justice. It is a community that thrives on collaboration and partnership. And I am here to emphasize our dedication to fostering these vital connections. Moreover, the vast partnership extends beyond the legal community. We have a responsibility to engage with civil society as well, human rights organizations, international partners who share our commitment to justice and the rule of law. By building strong alliances, we can amplify our efforts and bring about meaningful change in our society. Our partners include the USAID, Democracy International, and others. In conclusion, I am inspired and ready to work together with each stakeholder to uphold the principles we stand for. Let us embrace our diversity, overcome our challenges, and stand united in the pursuit of justice. Thank you, and may this legal year be marked by progress, unity, and a renewed dedication to the freedoms and liberties guaranteed by our Constitution. Together we can continue to be champions of justice and advocates of a brighter future for the Gambia, where all are treated with fairness, dignity, and respect, and where collaboration and partnership drives us forward towards our shared goals. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Madam President of the Gambia Bar Association. Let me make a point of correction here to my introductory speech. I refer to the Vice President as Mohammed B.S. So when it should have been Mohammed B.S. Jallo. The Vice President, I apologize initially. I now call on the Attorney General and Minister of Justice to deliver a statement. Honorable Age, please.
You are excused, Honorable JS. You may have been confused with Mohammed Jallo at the Attorney General's chambers. So, Excellency, we have a Mohammed Sow at the Attorney General's chambers. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, represented by the Deputy Speaker, my Lord Honorable Chief Justice, the Honorable Cabinet Ministers here present, Justices of the Superior Courts, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, mayors of Banjul, service chiefs, regional governors, learned magistrates and cadis, Sefolu, who are present here today in your capacity as president of the district tribunals, members of the General Legal Council, members of the Judicial Service Commission, President of the Gambia Bar Association and members of the bar, Solicitor General and staff of the Ministry of Justice, the Judicial Secretary and the staff of the Judiciary, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. As we stand on the dawn of 2024 legal year, I am honored to address this esteemed gathering once again. Our pursuit of justice is a shared commitment that binds us together, the public bar, the private bar, and the bench, as guardians of the rule of law and justice. Let's therefore collectively reflect on the triumphs and challenges of 2023, recognizing that we find ourselves at critical juncture in the administration of justice. On our part at the public bar, in the past year, we have witnessed the resilience and dedication of the Attorney General's chambers and the Ministry of Justice to the delivery of justice across the board. Despite unprecedented challenges ranging from high attrition of staff, leading to an acute shortage of experienced personnel, to inadequate material and financial resources, we emerged stronger and more determined to meet the demands for access to quality justice and human rights for all citizens and residents of the Gambia. Various departments within the ministry played pivotal roles in this endeavor. The Civil Litigation and International Law Department addressed complex legal issues at the home and internationally, contributing to the development of our legal precedents. The Criminal Prosecution Department exhibited exceptional diligence in the face of evolving criminal activities, securing numerous successful prosecutions. Notably, during the reviewed period, a Director of Public Prosecution has been appointed, filling a long-standing vacancy. This appointment serves to improve coordination within the criminal division, resulting in a more streamlined approach to handling criminal cases. Over the past year, the criminal division has effectively prosecuted significant crimes such as treason, sexual and gender-based violence, and cases of official corruption. These successful prosecutions underscore our unwavering commitment to combating a wide range of criminal activities in the country. At this juncture, I express my gratitude to the Gambia Police Force through my colleague, the Minister of Interior, under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, for their unwavering dedication in combating crime. Serving as primary line of defense, the police operate diligently under challenging conditions to fulfill their mandate of detecting and investigating crime while prosecuting offenses summarily in the subordinate courts. I also appeal to the judiciary to persist in complementing our joint efforts in the ongoing fight against crime. Other departments in the Ministry of Justice, such as the Curator of Interstate Estate, the Registrar General's Department, the Companies Department, Legislative Drafting Department, achieved milestones that strengthen our legal framework. From drafting of bills to facilitating seamless business registrations, these departments play integral roles in the upholding of justice. Recognizing the pivotal role legislation plays in shaping a just society, we have enacted key laws addressing crucial issues in our daily lives. These legislative achievements include the Anti-Corruption Act of 2023, the Victims Reparation Act of 2023, the Prevention and Prohibition of Torture Act of 2023, and the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Act of 2023, among others. I wish to reiterate our commitment to the legislative reform agenda of the government, led by His Excellency the President, Adama Barrow. The unprecedented number of legislations enacted stands as a testament of this commitment. These laws, combined with the existing ones, will serve as potent tools in the administration of justice and implementing the recommendations of the Truth, Reconciliation, and the Reparations Commission. In the realm of intellectual property, our diligent team has effectively managed national and international applications, including those from the African Regional Intellectual Property Organizations, ARIPO, and the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. Our commitment to aligning with international standards is evident in the diverse legal frameworks governing these applications, encompassing laws such as Industrial Property Amendment Act of 2015 and the Industrial Property Regulations. Furthermore, the anticipated enactment of the Intellectual Property Bill of 2023 is poised to elevate our administration of intellectual property, streamlining processes, and enhancing the protection of intellectual property rights in the Gambia. I am pleased to announce that the Gambia has recently been elected to serve as the Vice Chair of ARIPO, underscoring our dedication to regional collaboration. Adherence to protocols such as the Harare Protocol, Banjul Protocol, and the Arusha Protocol showcases our commitment to harmonizing intellectual property standards across the African continent. The ongoing initiatives to enhance our IP information, our IT automation signifies our dedication to efficiently managing regional and international applications, fostering innovation and safeguarding the rights of creators and inventors. In the domain of deeds registration, we have successfully constructed a new deed store during the past year. This facility is designed to facilitate proper filing and seamless retrieval of deeds, significantly enhancing our capacity to serve the public better. Furthermore, our commitment to modernizing filing systems is underscored by the ongoing digitization initiative within the Curator of Interstates Department. Through the strategic use of technology, we aspire to greatly enhance the efficiency and productivity in management and administration of estates belonging to deceased individuals. The National Agency Against Trafficking in Persons, in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, is fortifying its efforts in the detection, prevention, and prosecution of crimes relating to human trafficking. Proactive measures implemented to educate and inform the public, including potential victims, about the root causes and consequences of trafficking in persons, are pivotal in fostering awareness and preventing these egregious crimes. NATIP's steadfast commitment to eradicating human trafficking is evident in its thorough investigation of suspected and reported crimes, reflecting a resolute stance against organized criminal activities. I have tasked the agency to work towards achieving a Tier 1 ranking for the Gambia on the global stage to demonstrate our determination to lead international efforts in combating human trafficking. Moreover, in alignment with its constitutional mandate, the National Agency for Legal Aid has been steadfast in providing legal representation to poor individuals facing severe penalties, including death or life imprisonment. This serves as a clear testament to the government's commitment to upholding the constitutional rights of everyone who is in conflict with the law, irrespective of their economic status, to fair hearing. The introduction of mobile legal aid clinics by NALA is a commendable initiative that brings justice directly to the doorsteps of the masses. These clinics, through education and empowerment programs, play a pivotal role in enhancing legal awareness Thank you, the police band, for the entertainment while we wait for the restoration of power supply. The National Human Rights Commission continues to jealously guard its mandate, evidenced in its unwavering commitment to the promotion and protection of human rights across the country. In addition to its core mandate, the National Human Rights Commission has been given additional pivotal role in the transitional justice process. They are responsible of monitoring the implementation of the TRRC recommendations as accepted by the government in the white paper. The Commission has already established an online matrix to track the progress of post-TRRC implementation. Furthermore, the creation of a dedicated task force for the implementation of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission reinforces the NHRC's dedication to this task. Ladies and gentlemen, I now come to the ADRS. The Alternative Dispute Resolution Secretariat, operating under the Ministry of Justice since its establishment in 2008, as per the ADRS Act of 2005, focuses on resolving civil disputes amicably through alternative means. With 2 regional offices in Farafenni and Basse, the Secretariat is actively expanding its reach, starting with the opening of an office in Brikama. In the past year, the Secretariat registered 85 cases, successfully resolving 90% of them, particularly in areas like land, family, inheritance, and employment disputes. Engaging in community sensitization tours and radio awareness campaigns in the Carnival municipality, the Secretariat aims to increase public understanding of its work. Demonstrating its commitment to resolving potential divisive land disputes, regional offices successfully mediate conflicts in Wuli, Upper River Region, and Fuladu in the Central River Region. The Secretariat collaboration with the United Nations Development Programme facilitated an online training which empowered the Secretariat's personnel to subsequently train community mediators, reinforcing their capacity to handle disputes at the community level. While we acknowledge our accomplishments, it is crucial to acknowledge the upcoming challenges. The new legal year brings opportunities to build on our successes, confront emerging challenges, and uphold justice throughout society. Recognizing the importance of modernizing our operations, we are actively planning to digitize our record system. This initiative will revolutionize the inflow, retrieval, and disposal of case files, ushering in an era of efficiency and transparency. By embracing technology, we aim not only to serve our internal needs better, but also provide the public with accessible and accountable justice system. In closing, we extend our gratitude to all those who have contributed to our progress. May the forthcoming legal year be characterized by sustained advancements and unwavering dedication to the fundamental principles of justice. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice. I now have the pleasure and honor to invite His Lordship, the Chief Justice, Asante Jallow, to deliver his statement.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Honorable Momodou S. Jallow, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Mr. Sidi Njai, Honorable Judges of the Superior Courts, Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Madam Mayor of the City of Banjul, Your Worships, Magistrates and Cadis, members of the Judicial Service Commission, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, President of the Gambia Bar Association and members of the Bar, Director General Gambia Law School, regional governors, presidents, and members of the district tribunals, venerable religious leaders, members of staff of the judiciary and of the Attorney General's chambers, distinguished guests, I am pleased on behalf of the judiciary and indeed on behalf of the entire legal profession to welcome Your Excellency the Vice President of the Gambia and all our distinguished guests to this ceremony marking the opening of the 2024 legal year. A special welcome is extended to the delegation from the United Kingdom Judicial College and the Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Association, to the USAID team, the representatives respectively of the European Union, of the United Nations system, and the International Development Law Organization, which have all been among our very active collaborators in the execution of the Judiciary Strategic Plan and generally on improving the machinery of justice in the Gambia. We are also honored by the presence today of a special guest in the person of Professor Dr. Mohamed Ayat from the Kingdom of Morocco, a distinguished jurist, judge, scholar, and former chairman and now a member of the United Nations Committee on Enforced Disappearances. Professor Ayat will be delivering a public lecture as part of the activities this year on securing accountability for enforced disappearances, a matter which is of concern to us as we all engage in the implementation of the recommendations of the Truth, Reconciliations and Reparations Commission. This ceremony, whose history has been alluded to already by previous speakers, was regularly held in the course of the Fourth Republic, observed intermittently during the Second Republic, and restored now to its full glory during the Third Republic. It is a ceremony which provides us with the opportunity to celebrate justice and to celebrate the rule of law in our community, to reflect on the challenges in its application, and together chart a way forward to address those challenges. Today's ceremony will kickstart a number of other activities to be organized in the course of the week. Amongst them will be the call to the bar tomorrow of some 81 law students graduating from the Gambia Law School, 44 of whom are Gambians, students who have completed the academic and vocational phases of their training respectively at university level and at the level of the Gambia Law School. There will be an evaluation of the training program for the President's members and scribes of the district tribunals, the launching and training of members of the Association of Commissioners for Oaths and Notaries Public and Justices of the Peace. And in collaboration with the United Kingdom Judicial College, a training workshop will be organized for judges and magistrates on cyber crimes, electronic evidence, and on transnational crime, as well as workshops for magistrates on judgment writing, effective management of criminal cases, and on the implementation of the sentencing guidelines with particular reference to the offense of rape and to other sexual offenses. A bench bar dialogue is also scheduled to provide a forum for the two important stakeholders in the administration of justice to come together and examine ways in which the obstacles to speedy and qualitative justice can be ameliorated, if not removed altogether. A very busy but hopefully very productive week thus lies ahead, to be capped by a social event jointly hosted by the bench, the public and the private bar. And at this stage I would like to thank the Legal Year Committee headed by the indefatigable Honorable Justice Ibrahim Ajaite and his members, the committee which comprises members from the judiciary, from the Ministry of Justice, and from the private bar. I'd like to thank them for their efforts in organizing this year's events. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, the legal year 2023, which has just ended, was indeed a very busy one for the judiciary and all those who are engaged in litigation or prosecution. In the area of our core activity, which is the hearing and determination of cases, the judiciary started the 2023 legal year, that is January of last year, with a carryover of 5,810 cases from 2022. In 2023, a further 5,639 cases were filed across all courts in the country, bringing our total caseload in 2023 to 11,449 cases for resolution before the courts. And this does not include the cases before the district tribunals. There's a substantial amount of cases which are heard and determined by them and which are pending there. We have, in the course of 2023, a total of 5,273 cases, that is 46% of this workload was disposed of by the courts hearing and coming to a decision and delivering judgment. 46% of the cases, that is 5,273 cases. It's still a very, very heavy workload. A very heavy workload indeed continues to lie ahead. I wish to thank all judicial officers, staff and counsel, all round with the Ministry of Justice, National Agency for Legal Aid and the private bar for their contribution in the management of this caseload. It is clear, however, this is a very heavy workload and that we must deploy a combination of different but complementary strategies for the speedier disposal of cases. Through provision of adequate human and other resources to the judiciary and to the other stakeholders, the prosecution and the defense, to enable them to function efficiently. There needs to be greater diligence and effort by all stakeholders, judges, lawyers, prosecutors, magistrates, in the management of cases. We need to bear in mind the need for adoption of rules and practices that promote speedy and effective justice. But above all, we must deploy greater exploration of out-of-court settlement of civil disputes and resort to litigation as a last resort. We have to emphasize that we must resort to civil litigation as a last resort. The courts should hear cases only which they need to hear, not cases which they do not need to hear, cases which can be resolved outside the courtroom. We have to explore and utilize all these strategies in order to attain the mission of the judiciary, the mission of law and justice, our national aim of ensuring that justice is accessible to all. A number of other important activities planned for and goals set for 2023 were delivered or attained. Our efforts to improve the case management system received a welcome boost from the USAID, American Bar Association project for promoting rights and justice, with the submission of a project proposal for a digitized case management system, which is currently under review. Similarly, with the support of USAID, a consultant has now submitted an interim report on the review of the rules of practice and procedure in the High Court with proposals for their reform in order to expedite the hearing and determination of cases. We propose to finalize and implement both reports in the course of the new legal year 2024, as we expect them to result in significant improvements in the judicial processes. The amendments to the High Court rules, providing for court-connected alternative dispute resolution, and which require parties to civil disputes to explore out-of-court settlement prior to the institution of civil proceedings, have now entered into force and are being implemented and enforced by the High Court. We expect that this will assist in avoiding unnecessary civil litigation or in narrowing the scope of litigation where such is inevitable. Some 20 legal practitioners have already been trained in 2023 on ADR, and in the course of 2024, training and certification of additional mediators, conciliators, and arbitrators will be delivered to support the ADR process ADR process. The draft bill to establish the Gambia Judicial and Legal Training Institute has been validated and submitted to the Ministry of Justice for enactment by the National Assembly. The bill provides a legal framework for the Judicial Institute, which has only thus far existed de facto. The bill also proposes to broaden the mandate of the Institute to provide continuing legal education, not only for judges and magistrates, that is not just for judicial officers and judiciary staff, but also for the rest of the legal and law enforcement cadre in the public service, from police prosecutors to legal advisors in the Ministry of Justice and to legal advisors in the National Agencies for Legal Aid, including the customs services and other agencies as well. The District Tribunals Training Program for the President's members and scribes of this important tier of our judicial system, which handles customary law matters, and a significant number of legal disputes launched last year, has been successfully implemented in all the regions of the country. We expect to see, as a result, some qualitative improvements in the judicial work of those tribunals. The program has also generated a review of the District Tribunals Act and system, which is currently underway. We are grateful to the International Development Law Organization, IDLO, for the funding and organization of the project, and to the Ministry of Regional Government, Lands and Religious Affairs for their contribution to and support of this project. The Judiciary Training Institute also provided some input into the judiciary capacity building program through the organization of local training workshops on various subjects for various target groups within the judiciary, among them training on judicial conduct and ethics for magistrates, in collaboration with the Sealy Institute and Gambia Participate, on effective communication for registrars, assistant registrars and clerks, induction training for newly appointed clerks and process servers, and in collaboration with the UNESCO, a workshop on international and regional standards on freedom of expression and the safety of journalists, and also a nationwide training of clerks and registrars in collaboration with the USAID. In the past year, the capacity of the bench of the magistrates' courts has also been strengthened with the recruitment by the Judicial Service Commission of 5 new magistrates of the first class, who, after appropriate induction training, have now been deployed to various subordinate courts. We are in the process of recruitment of additional magistrates to fill some gaps in the rural subordinate courts, particularly in the Central River region and the North Bank region. And in this way, we will be able to ensure full nationwide coverage at the subordinate court level, and thus facilitate greater access to justice countrywide. A new chief magistrate, in the person of His Worship Pamodu Njai, has also now taken up duties as well. The capacity of the High Court bench, which is the first tier of the superior courts, is also being strengthened with the recruitment of additional judges. Although 3 judges, Justice Bakare, Justice Osei Tutu, and Justice Achibonga, who were on technical assistance respectively from Nigeria and Ghana, left us in the course of the year, they have now been replaced by 2 judges from Nigeria, Justice Ayola and Justice Olabi, and 1 judge from Ghana, Justice Kwabeng, all of them on technical assistance. This has enabled us to double the capacity of the High Court bench for the West Coast region to 2 judges in Brikama, and we expect to increase it to 3 in view of the very large workload which comes from that region. A 4th judge for the High Court is expected shortly on technical assistance from Ghana. We are indeed very grateful to Nigeria and Ghana for their continued support to the judiciary of the Gambia. The evaluation of candidates by the Judicial Service Commission for the High Court bench is expected to result shortly in the recruitment of a number of suitable Gambians as judges in order to strengthen the High Court's capacity. Similarly, the Commission will also be shortly submitting recommendations for the filling of the single vacancy on the bench of the Supreme Court with the appointment of a new justice of that court. Court administration has also seen some changes in the course of the year, with the appointment of a new judicial secretary in the person of Mr. Abdul Conte, who was formerly the sheriff, the elevation of a former principal magistrate to the position of Mr. Jabang to the position of sheriff, and the appointment of a new head of the Judiciary ICT unit in the person of Omar Jallo. The registry, a crucial part of the case and court management system, has also seen a number of staff changes with the appointments of new registrars and assistant registrars, all of whom play a very crucial role in the management of case dockets. Human resources management has also benefited from the strengthening of the human resources unit with additional officers. We once again welcome the new officers, the judges and administrators, and congratulate them on their elevation and count on them to make a positive impact, to make a difference in court management on the enforcement and execution of judgments and the implementation of the technology component of the judiciary strategic plan. Whilst recruitment and training for capacity building will continue to be a focus of this year, this will be supplemented by attention to improving the regulatory framework, as well with earlier the development and institution of a performance-based appraisal and assessment system for judicial as well as support staff, and the development of appropriate human resource policies to promote greater staff efficiency and performance. The year just ended also witnessed 3 other major developments. With the assistance of the UK Judicial College and the CMJA, we developed and adopted sentencing guidelines for magistrates on the offenses of rape, on assault, theft, and allied offenses allied to stealing, and I have now issued these guidelines for observance by the subordinate courts. This will assist them in having a more methodical, objective, and transparent approach to and the reduction or elimination of disparities in sentencing. The Sentencing Council, under the leadership of the Honorable Justice JSC, is with the support of the Judicial College and the CMJ, preparing sentencing guidelines for other offenses, also for the consideration of the Chief Justice. We wish to record our appreciation to the College and the CMJ and the Government of the United Kingdom for this important project, as well as the work of the Sentencing Council and its leadership. Members of staff, both judicial and support, have also benefited from overseas training in various jurisdictions with the sponsorship of the USA, the EU, the UN system, the African Judicial Network. We are grateful for this assistance. We are pleased to recognize the efforts of the very few staff of the Institute under the leadership of the Honorable Justice Auba for the delivery of numerous training programs in the course of the year. Pursuant to Section 143(1) of the Constitution, and as I undertook last year, the Judiciary Prisons Visiting Committee has now been established under the leadership of the Honorable Justice Asa Hosise, JCA, with a mandate to undertake a 6-monthly inspection of the prisons countrywide and to report to the Chief Justice on the status of all remand prisoners. This should assist with the monitoring of the cases of prisoners in pre-trial detention and with the more expeditious hearing and determination of their cases. I have also issued, under the same authority of the Constitution, I have also issued on the 21st December 2023 a direction pursuant to Sections 1313 and 1431 of the Constitution, establishing a special criminal division of the High Court with effect from the 26th of January, 5 days from now, a special criminal division of the High Court for the hearing and determination of inter alia criminal matters arising from the implementation of the recommendations of the TRRC. This measure, together with those planned by the executive and legislative branches of the state, are designed to ensure a more efficient management of criminal cases generally, and more particularly with accountability for the crimes identified by the TRRC for prosecution. We welcome and applaud the solidarity of the international community in securing accountability for this category of crimes, with particular reference to the support of the ECOWAS, the European Union, the UN system, and also of individual countries, such as the United States of America, Germany, and Switzerland, which are making significant contributions to this process by undertaking at their own expense the local prosecution of some important cases of accused persons who are within their territorial jurisdiction and in respect of whom there have been recommendations for prosecution. Success in the implementation of the accountability component of the TRRC recommendations will continue to require a multi-pronged approach, an approach of local prosecution in the Gambian courts, as well as prosecution outside the Gambia, either by other states or by other institutions, jurisdictional institutions. In furtherance of this direction, I shall shortly be assigning judges to special division. We wish to record our great appreciation to the government of His Majesty of the United Kingdom for agreeing to fund the remodeling, renovation, equipping, and furnishing of one of the judiciary's premises at Mile 7 Bakau to accommodate some of the facilities for the Special Criminal Division. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, there have been also numerous challenges along the way. Shortage of courtroom space continues to hamper the optimum use of the full complement of judicial officers. It is not an easy situation. The workload is immense, as you can gather from the statistics I gave you. It's immense, it's too much for the present number of judicial officers. We need more judges and magistrates to manage the workload efficiently. But we lack the courtroom and other space to accommodate and ensure the full operation of all the courts. Additional and well-equipped and furnished courtrooms are thus critical. Monthly allocation of funds to the judiciary continue to be consistently inadequate for our basic operations. Basic things, buying ink for printing, buying paper to make sure the courts function, is a challenge in the judiciary. And this can only be dealt with by the Minister of Finance ensuring that the monthly allocation to the judiciary is adequate to meet those needs. Without those basic things, a judiciary, a courtroom cannot function. It cannot function in the absence of ink and paper, to say the least. Judiciary support services, such as interpretation and records preparation services, which are critical for court proceedings, require strengthening. Lack of transportation for magistrates, particularly in the Greater Banjul area, continues to hamper the efficiency of the subordinate courts. The shortage, and in most instances the lack of official vehicles, or the use of unsuitable pool vehicles, the unavailability of government loans to judicial officers to purchase their vehicles, and the security and ethical challenges faced by such magistrates and cadres in the use of commercial vehicles all continue to seriously hamper their mobility and hence the effectiveness of the subordinate courts. This is an issue which needs to be addressed with the provision of the necessary resources. We must admit, however, also that in some instances, the lack of due diligence by counsel, by lawyers, both of the private bar and of the public bar, as well as by some judicial officers, have also occasioned unnecessary and unacceptable delays in the hearing and determination of cases. And in some instances, it has led to the discharge or acquittal of accused persons for lack of diligent prosecution. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, the judiciary has committed itself to deploy greater efforts in the course of the 2024 legal year to the discharge of its core mission to provide effective quality justice through the timely and efficient hearing and determination of cases. A 2-day retreat for judges held in November 2023 gave us the opportunity to review our working methods and practices and to identify what we as judicial officers can do and what we should do to enable the judiciary discharge its mission. We came away from that retreat with a deep commitment to ensuring the hearing and determination of cases within a reasonable time, without undue, to exercise diligence and to exercise purpose, to be guided by the rights of litigants to have their matters determined within a reasonable time, to be guided by the constitutional encouragement to deliver judgments within 3 months of the last judgment, to improve as individual judicial officers the management of our cases. Above all, to demonstrate the highest standards of honesty, integrity, impartiality, fairness, and independence in the discharge of our functions. We remain committed to those objectives. And in the course of this year, we shall be working on improving our systems for monitoring and ensuring the compliance of individual judicial officers with this commitment that we have undertaken. We recognize, of course, that judicial officers and staff are not the sole actors in the justice process, and that the cooperation of other stakeholders, such as the lawyers and litigants, is crucial to the discharge of our mission. We look forward to the bench bar dialogue scheduled for this week in this context to provide us and the legal practitioners with the chance to identify and commit ourselves together to measures that will promote the attainment of our common mandate, our common mission. We congratulate the new executive of the Gambia Bar Association under the leadership of Learned Senior Counsel Nene MC Cham and look forward to a productive collaboration with them. We thank the immediate past GBA executive under the leadership of Learned Senior Counsel Salim Tal for their management of the bar and support for the judiciary during their tenure. In the course of the 2024 legal year, we look forward to the commencement of operations of the Special Division and also the establishment of a commercial division in the High Court in order to assist with the more expeditious determination of that category of cases. Our capacity building efforts will be intensified through training of staff, hopefully under the umbrella of the new Gambia Judicial and Legal Training Institute. The capacity of our language and record preparation sections will respectively be strengthened through recruitment of more interpreters and typists in order to support more effectively our language and record preparation services, and thus the trial and appellate processes. We are committed to establishing in the course of the year a new electronic case management system, which will, among other things, enable online filing and service of court processes and other documents, as well as the payment of court fees, and thus significantly improve on the current system. The review and reform of the rules of the High Court will continue and hopefully conclude with the adoption of new rules which will eliminate obstacles to speedy trial. We shall also be reviewing in the course of the year the rules of practice and procedure in the subordinate courts to the same ends. Internal governance will be strengthened with policies and a new regulatory framework for more effective human resource management and for dealing with public grievances and public complaints about the delivery of justice. Your Excellency and distinguished guests, other areas which are beyond the means of the judiciary and which require the attention of government and our development partners include funding for the infrastructure component of the judiciary strategic plan. More particularly, as I mentioned earlier, the provision of more courtroom and office space, improving the transport fleet to provide better mobility for judicial officers and staff, and to support court operations. We continue to appeal for and look forward to greater public funding for these areas, as we also do for the digitization of the recording and transcription of court proceedings and the upkeep of our archives. Your Excellency and distinguished guests, we look forward also to the enactment of the Judges' Conditions of Service Bill in the course of this year. This is not only an overdue constitutional requirement, it is a means for ensuring security of tenure for judges, ensuring the integrity of the bench, and putting in place a scheme for attracting and retaining suitable Gambians to the bench. Its contents reflect standard practice in the Commonwealth jurisdictions. When we, let me give you an example, when we made an announcement inviting lawyers to apply for position of judges in the High Court, we ran the advertisement for a whole month, and there was only one application. There was only one application from private legal practitioners. And I'm sorry to say that one application was from somebody who was not qualified. And that made matters worse. And this all goes back to the conditions of service. If we expect to attract and retain suitable Gambians, we must provide the necessary conditions for them to be able to to join the judiciary. We are encouraged by Your Excellency's assurances of your government's commitment to see this legislation through, and are indeed grateful for that commitment. That is the bill. The bill, when enacted, will significantly improve morale within the judiciary, and I believe it will make a positive impact on the national drive to Gambianize this venerable institution. Your Excellency and distinguished guests, an efficient, independent, and impartial judiciary is the bedrock for the rule of law and for good governance, and is the most secure foundation for peace and progress. It is befitting that on an occasion such as today, the judiciary acknowledge with great appreciation Your Excellency the President and your government's commitment to and respect for the independence of the judiciary, and to your continuous efforts to provide for the judiciary's needs. We nonetheless appeal to Your Excellency and your government to continue to bear in mind that investment in the judiciary is an investment in the rule of law, it's an investment in justice, and it's an investment in laying secure foundations for national peace and national progress. We seize the opportunity, through Your Excellency Vice President, to congratulate His Excellency the President, Mr. Adama Barrow, on the well-deserved award to him of the 2024 Africa Prize for Peace. This marks an international recognition of His Excellency's sterling qualities of leadership in justice, in promoting peace, and in promoting progress. It is now my honor to invite Your Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia to address the gathering, to declare the 2024 legal year open, and to hand over certificates of appreciation from the judiciary to 30 retired staff of the courts. Your Excellency.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My Lord, Honorable Chief Justice, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Justices of the Superior and Lower Courts, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, and other Cabinet Ministers present, the Lord Mayors of Banjul, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, members of the legal profession, may I also recognize the presence of His Excellency, the former Vice President Ousainou Darboe, distinguished invitees. Please allow me, on behalf of His Excellency the President, who is on an official mission, to deliver this statement on his behalf. God has blessed us once again with the delight of convening here to officially mark the commencement of another legal year. For this, I am grateful. The occasion accords us the opportunity to look back on the judicial and legal system in the country during the year and to cast attention on the year ahead, with a view to improving on our performance and achievements. Based on the 2023 legal year and the preceding years, we can conclude with satisfaction that this event denotes stability and progress in our legal system, and it provides a platform to highlight our global role in promoting the international rule of law. Assessment of the legal sector last year would reveal my government's unquestionable resolve to prioritize and uphold the rule of law, good governance, and accountability in the country. As evidence of this, during the 2023 legislative year, the government tabled before the National Assembly various legislations aimed at transforming the legal environment in the Gambia and successfully enacting them into law. The legislations include, but not limited to, the Victims' Reparations Act, the Prevention and Prohibition of Torture Act, the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Act, the Labor Act, and the Anti-Corruption Act. These laws address effective reparations issues affecting victims of injustice, ending impunity, creating a fairer labor market, fighting corruption, and upholding the rule of law. The Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Act, for instance, establishes a framework for cooperation with foreign law enforcement agencies. This is a significant step in our transitional justice process, and it ensures accountability for human rights violations globally. Our participation in recent trials held in foreign lands, such as the trial and sentencing of Bailo by a German court for crimes against humanity, further demonstrate our commitment to holding perpetrators accountable regardless of their location. The government has also approved the gazetting and tabling of two vital bills, the Special Prosecutor's Office Bill and the Special Accountability Bill. They are to complement the proposed establishment of a hybrid court to crimes against humanity on Gambian soil. In collaboration with other countries, my government is earnestly supporting efforts to bring to justice refugees of Gambian nationality living abroad. Notably, for example, the United States government's trial of Michael Correa and the ongoing trial of former Interior Minister Usman Sonko in Switzerland reflect the global pursuit of justice for crimes committed in the Gambia. I appreciate and endorse the close collaboration and support the Attorney General's Chambers and Minister of Justice provided during the trial conducted in Germany, as well as its involvement in the ongoing cases in Switzerland and the United States. I also extend deep gratitude to the respective governments of these countries for their support to the Gambia in our pursuit of justice for all. Your lordship, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, these developments within and outside the country adequately manifest my government's steadfast commitment to justice and peace. In fact, recently, the United Nations General Assembly referred a question of law to the International Court of Justice to determine whether the actions of Israel against Palestine constitute an act of apartheid. The Gambia is actively participating in the proceedings of the case on Israel's action against Palestine, seeking advisory opinion on whether they constitute acts of apartheid. We have submitted a written statement and intend to participate in the oral proceedings starting on 19 February 2024. Amid this prolonged Middle East conflict, we call for a ceasefire and emphasize that the global community must accord international law, including humanitarian law, due significance in the quest of resolving the Israel-Palestine conflict. Furthermore, having filed a case at the ICJ against Myanmar for acts of genocide against the Rohingya, we will continue to strongly advocate full recognition of and respect for the rights and dignity of the Rohingya people in Myanmar. Relatedly, I am delighted to declare publicly that last November, following a series of consultations with my government, Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom formally submitted their joint declaration of intervention in the Gambia versus Myanmar court proceedings before the ICJ. Maldives has similarly got involved in the case. These interventions amply demonstrate international support for the leadership role our young and small democracy is playing in the global fight against injustice and impunity. Your Lordship, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my government's interpretation and commitment to constitutional order go beyond a legal doctrine. In addition, it is a promise to its citizens for a just and equitable society. As we begin the 2024 legal year, I thus reaffirm our dedication to democracy and good governance. It is little wonder, therefore, that the synergy among our three arms of government continues to strengthen the foundations of justice, liberty, and prosperity for the people of the Gambia. We pledge to protect the independence and impartiality of the judiciary, guarantee the freedoms of expression, assembly, and association, and uphold the fundamental rights of our people. Happily, the rule of law is not under threat in the Gambia, and my administration is committed to its protection and growth within the framework of the democratic principles on which our nation thrives. As we renew our pledge to discharge our responsibilities and allow the judicial system to dispense justice impartially, we commend the judiciary for their efforts to address the backlog of cases on their hands. Also, we urge them to expedite clearance of all cases that have been pending for a while now. We assure you all of our support and resolve to sustain your independence, integrity, and efficiency. While declaring the 2024 legal year open, I wish the legal sector success and urge all citizens and friends of the Gambia to unite for a better, ever-developing Gambia. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, His Excellency the Vice President, for that speech. As part of the activities celebrating the legal year for 2024, the management of judiciary has honored our retired officials by awarding them certificate of appreciation for their dedicated service. In this regard, on behalf of the Honorable CJ, the Chief Justice, the indulgence of the Vice President is kindly requested to award certificate to awardees. I now call on Honorable Justice Jibril B.S. Jani to be awarded a certificate. Next is Honorable Justice Raymond C. Sock. Next is Mamadou B. Bojang, who is now currently the Paramount Chief of Kombo. Mr. Mahmoud Lamin Khan, retired Principal Kadi. Mr. Tijan Ka, retired Principal Kadi. Mr. Masamba Jain, retired Principal Kadi. Okay. All right. Mr. Ilman Sise, retired Kadi. Retired Kadi. Mrs. Anna Aksigai. Miss MTB Cole. Mrs. Ami Odrame. Where is she? I saw her. One lady. Mrs. Nancy Njai. I don't know this Marinjai. Marinjai. Who is it? Mrs. Kathleen Fowlish. Mrs. Marinjai. Mrs. Awa Fadera. Mrs. Princess Drame. Mr. Sam Mendy. Okay. Mr. Daddy Kaba Damfa. Mr. Patty Cham. Mr. Bori Kamara. Mr. Nyanama Wali. Nyanama Wali. Mr. Lamin Shediba. Mr. Abulai Baji. Mr. Jere Shekhar. Mr. Musa Diba. Mr. Keba Shala. Mr. Malam Fati. Mr. Alaji Job. Mr. Idrissa Jammeh. Mr. Tijan Balde. Mrs. Mary Gomez. I don't know. Finally, Mrs. Mariama Sise. Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable CJ, this is a short announcement. There will be a photo session of His Excellency, the Vice President, the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, His Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and Minister of Justice, and the Superior Courts. This will be followed by the meeting of the staff of the Judiciary and Minister of Justice by the Vice President, while the High Table proceeds to the chambers of His Lordship for light refreshment. The President will proceed to the chamber of His Lordship with Superior Court justices, Cabinet Ministers, and senior members of the Bar.